Ben Andrews, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us, Ben.
But to start off with, we are about 30 some days, 30 days away from the Seattle Film Summit for 2021. And we wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it. This year, the Seattle Film Summit is happening from September 3rd to the 11th. And I think, Todd, you have some really cool graphics for us. And we have so much programming, I'm going to just change the plan. I don't want to go through the whole schedule. You guys can see the schedule at seattlefilmsummit.com schedule. You pull that up right now, and we will have some lovely graphics. But let's just go real quick, and let's just talk about some of the fun things that we have happening. And I want to know what you guys like the most. And so why don't, Trina, you want to start us off? Tell us a couple of the panels or sessions that really have you excited.
Well, I'm really excited about the panels that highlight the work that the crew gets to do. So we've got some makeup film panels, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm very excited about working with the volunteers who will be at the summit this year, and their ability to experience as well as be a part of helping the guests that are coming in and helping our high profile that'll be there. I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely. What about you, Marissa? What are you excited for?
Well, this is what I've been part of this now for 5 years. And I think like one of my favorite parts now is like seeing all the films and seeing all the creatives that get to show their work, who submitted into Film Freeway. And I think now this year we get to be in person or partially in person, which is really cool. And we get to actually tour the Harbor Island studio, which is in Seattle, which is very big for Seattle. So I'm really excited about that. And then also now we're partnering with the professional sports broadcasting teams. So we have like the Seahawks, we have, oh my gosh,
the Kraken,
the Kraken,
Sounders, the Mariners,
everyone, right?
We got them all.
So that's actually really exciting because I don't know that much about sports broadcasting. So it'll be just really interesting to see and pick everyone's brains and meet everyone.
That's going to be 1 p.m. on the 11th, live at the Hyatt. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Absolutely. Well, what's your favorites, Todd?
Well, I mean, the opening night mixer, the party, as well as the Friday night party. I think that's going to be good too. That whole Friday night is going to be great. I'm just here for the parties. But then I'm also excited just to watch some of the films. You know, I don't get to watch as much Netflix as I'd like to. So being able to watch, what is it going to be, 4 or 5 days of screenings is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as most people, if you know, some of you might not know, if you haven't looked at the schedule, we have that in-person party on the 3rd, which is the location is to be announced. But then we go into a few days of virtual programming, much like we did in 2020, right? They're all blending together at this point. And then we get to the 10th, where we're going to have this Harbor Island tour, and then we'll all come back to our venue at Canvas. We're going to have a live streamed table read with our 6 short scripts that won our competition. And then after that, we're going to have some bands and some music and some aerialists and some performers, and there might be a little bit of alcohol and there might be a little bit of food and there might be a lot of fun. So that'll be our real kickoff, but you can't drink too much and get too crazy, because starting at 10 a.m. on the 11th at the Hyatt Regency in Renton, we got a lot of programming and we've got 3 simultaneous tracks. Fortunately, it's you will be able to view all those tracks later. If you get into one session and you're not able to capture one that's going on at the same time, that content will be available. To be determined how we're going to make it available, but it will be. And then we have another fun party with some music and bands following that day session.
Closing party 8 p.m. to midnight. Yeah. I will be
And
there.
there is a lot of what I'm personally excited about is the engagement of our state, civic, and local leaders. We have a creative economy contest where people can submit ideas, and that just went live this week. And the state is committing to mentor the best idea along to teach the winner how to become an advocate of their own idea. And we have senators on that panel. We have, as judges, we have angel investors. And then the city of Seattle has sponsored us to have a candidate forum. So there'll be an opportunity to see our council member candidates and our mayoral candidates speak about creative economy. And then actually the one that I am really the most excited about is because we talk about our workforce in the state a lot, which is we have a student showcase. So for between 2 and 4, we are going to have students from UW and Shoreline and Seattle Film Institute and the Academy of Interactive Entertainment. I think there's another one in there. And those students will get 3 minutes to pitch to a room filled with writers and producers and directors. And this is really our first step in trying to create a better pipeline for our graduating students to local workforce. So we'd love to see you there, and we'd love to get your input, and as we kind of build this thing into the future. So anything else we should mention before we get into this table read?
I think you about covered all of it.
Good.
Other people are joining us. I'm not sure who they are, but we'll see.
These are actors that probably should be coming in at 6:30, but that's okay.
We'll say hi to them now.
I'll come back.
Hi, actors.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for joining. We were just about to launch your table read recording, and then we'll get into some
Ben,
introductions.
It's not a secret
afterwards.
that it's a recording? I thought we were going to...
Well, it's not a secret now, because evidently I just said it.
Yeah.
So I am super excited about this one because we did a collab table read, and I think half of our actors were from New York and half of our actors were from Seattle. And it is my pleasure to intro this table read, and it's called Minos. And this was co-written by Burt Weissbourd and Jacob Epstein. And these guys have been around for a long time, and they've done a lot of great, cool stuff. Jacob Epstein has written episodes of Hill Street Blues and LA Law. And I remember watching that when I was younger. And Burt Weissbourd was originally as a producer, and he's worked with the likes of Sissy Spacek, Sam Shepard, Fred Astaire even, and he's also a novelist and a screenwriter. There's Abby. Abby,
I've
where
been
have you
here.
been?
I've been here since
Where have you
5:30, and I was literally texting Todd over and over again and Trina, and no one decided to look at their messages. I'm not angry. I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, Abby, we're glad to have you.
And it's
We're happy
ironic.
to see you, Abby. Yay.
And what's
Welcome.
ironic about her introduction is Abby is our director of guest relations. So I think as a guest, you now know not to piss her off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kidding. Totally kidding.
So Abby, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see everyone again.
Before we jump right into this table read, is there anything about the schedule that excites you yet? That's what we were just talking about.
So many things. I know that it's so crazy because I'm literally watching a K-drama right now. But we're actually doing an international film block this year, and we've teamed up with friends from Korea who are actually going to be coming out to the festival this year and doing a panel. Mina Jung and Jing Hoon Park. Sorry. I like watching him in things and other things. So yeah, I'm excited that the Seattle Film Summit has like branched out, right? Like we're going international, guys. I mean, we accepted films internationally that last year, but now we're actually bringing international guests to the film summit and creating more diversity. And I am so beyond excited about the panels that we've got going on this year and the people that we have coming.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm excited. Just a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about some of our guests. Abby just mentioned our friends from South Korea, but we also have landed the co-founder of Pixar, Alvy Ray Smith. He'll be joining us. And we also have the legendary Tom Skerritt, hometown hero. He'll be joining us. And we've got the Hodge brothers. Edwin was just in The Tomorrow War. And
yes.
all this is City on a Hill. Isn't that his big show right now?
Yeah.
So,
and he was amazing in The Tomorrow War. If anyone saw it, I'm just gonna say he was the one that stole the movie. That's it. Nobody else.
Yeah, actually he was. You're actually absolutely spot on. Edwin was, and Edwin's brother. All this is also all this is also playing Hawkman in the new Black Adam movie.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
They also did a new Leverage, which is filmed in the Pacific Northwest.
I heard about this.
Also, there's a new movie Leverage that came out. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, but all this is in there. So it's the same gang except for the main guy. I'm not remembering his name right now. But people can catch all this doing that. His crazy Harkison stuff, which is where I fell in love with him. But yeah, they're all coming out, and I'm just so excited about the film summit this year. I can't wait to actually attend. It is probably the one event that I will attend. Thanks to the crazy pandemic.
Because you've recruited all of the guests that you love, Abby. Everyone there is Abby approved.
Everyone. So they didn't make me angry. That's the whole point.
That's right. That's what none of us try to make you angry.
Ben, I have one question.
I love you, Marissa.
Love you.
Yes, Todd.
What are we supposed to remind our viewers to do when we're live on YouTube?
That's right. You're supposed to do that like and subscribe thing. Right?
Oh yeah.
Is that correct?
We don't want to see her quite yet. Yeah, we're
Todd,
supposed to get...
that was your face.
there we go. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
There it is.
All right, let's get this professional show on the road. And without further ado, thank you. Abby's going to handle our Q&A post table read. Thank you, Abby, for doing that. And we get to meet these lovely, talented actors. But without further ado, let's get into the show itself.
Put your questions, your Q&A, go ahead and put it in YouTube chat throughout the reading, and we'll be monitoring that, and Abby will work those into the Q&A.
Good call.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Marissa, Todd, Trina, and Abby, and everybody else who's watching. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we are reading Minos, written by Burt Weissbourd and Jacob Epstein, based on the Corey Logan trilogy by Burt Weissbourd. Exterior Seattle, the Ave, day. A gaggle of homeless kids hanging by a low wall. Traffic comes and goes. This is an epicenter of Seattle street culture. Street musicians, homeless youth, street kids spanging for spare change. At the edge of the group, we find Snapper, 19, tall, graceful, irresistible to men and women. He likes to snap his thumb and the first two fingers of his right hand, hence his name. A small silver stallion hangs from a chain around Snapper's neck. He's talking to a red-haired kid who has parked his car nearby. The red-haired kid doesn't seem to fit in with this group. Is this a drug deal? Snapper delivers a book to the red-haired kid, who puts it in his backpack. Cut to someone watches. We don't know who. Snapper, transaction complete, moves off. He approaches Peanut, 20, his pregnant street sister.
How you doing, Peanut? You okay?
Comes and it goes.
Everything's gonna be all right. I'm tracking 8-Ball. Got your back, baby girl.
He steps behind her, massages her neck. She sighs.
I believe you.
Across the street, a strange man is watching this exchange. He reacts now as Snapper says his goodbyes and moves off, like a hunter after prey. He wears a long black leather greatcoat over black pants and a black turtleneck. We don't see his face at first, but we will. Interior sedan, Detective Lou Ballard, 40s, pear-shaped, wearing a thin tie, is at the wheel. A longtime veteran of Seattle's PD, and Corey Logan, mid-30s, and our hero, sits passenger. Her hair is cut short. She has a bracelet-like tattoo on her wrist, turquoise, red, and black braided strands. A scar runs down her neck from her ear to her collarbone. A patch of freckles on her nose spreads to her cheeks when she smiles. She's not smiling now.
Something's off. I know these kids.
You always think something's off.
8-Ball's missing. His girlfriend's about to have a baby. I don't get it.
You always looking to make it logical with these kids. It's the Avenue of Lost Souls.
Cut to a new angle through the windshield, a street kid in conversation with some other street kids.
Hey, there's Rocket.
Lou pulls over to the curb. Exterior the Ave. Rocket reacts. If it's cops and that social worker lady, he doesn't want any part of it. He takes off.
Fucking bonehead, always making me run.
And he takes off after Rocket. Corey exits the car and moves to the crowd of kids. Lily, pretty, 16, reacts warmly. Corey Logan's well known to these kids and they trust her.
Hey, Miss Logan, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Looking for 8-Ball.
Still looking. How's Peanut?
She's pretty freaked out.
Corey steps over to Peanut and puts her arm around her.
You are looking more beautiful every day. How's the baby?
Baby's good.
They're ready for you at the clinic whenever you're ready.
I don't need a doctor, Miss Logan.
It's not for you. It's for your baby.
I've been telling her that.
Exterior 16th Street. Snapper crosses over and heads down an alley. His squat is an abandoned building in this lousy neighborhood. It's nearby. Reverse angle, the strange man. Follows at a discreet distance. And now we see his face revealed to us for the first time. A scarlet birthmark stains his cheek from lip to brow, covering a grotesque scar. His brows are also scarred. It's a face that's at once grotesque and indelible. Interior Olympic Academy bathroom. An abstract Picasso-like drawing of a death mask, the Cretan bull death mask, is taped to the bathroom mirror. It eerily matches the face of the strange man we've just seen.
I am the priestess, the Vestal Virgin. I pray to the oracle of Apollo, the serpent slayer. I must find Theseus.
We widen to reveal Sarah, almost 16, willowy with traces of acne, though she's growing into a beauty. She has black hair with shiny red streaks and wears a spiked leather collar. With her double-edged dagger, an athame, she is ritualistically carved in a circle in the hardwood floor. Then in the circle, a 5-pointed star. At each of the points of the star, she's lighting candles. 3 other candles blaze on the windowsill.
I call on the oracle to help me find him. I need him now.
From her bag, she takes a vial of wine, honey, chopped cheese, and meal, her homemade ambrosia, the divine nectar of the gods.
Blue-haired Poseidon, master of ships and stallions, you who sired him, lead me to Theseus. The beast is rising. I need him now.
She drinks down the strange potion, letting it run down her chin, her neck. Cut to exterior, dead-end alley. Snapper enters, heading toward an abandoned building. The strange man follows, just far enough behind so that Snapper doesn't sense him. Interior Olympic Academy bathroom. Sarah is twirling now, waving the athame above her head, chanting for Theseus.
I call on Theseus! The beast is rising!
In her frenzy, she knocks over a candle in the windowsill. The candle falls against the green and red paisley curtain. The fire is instantaneous. As Sarah chants and twirls, the curtain ignites from sill to ceiling. Exterior, abandoned building. Snapper is prying open a boarded-up window on the abandoned building. It's the doorway to his squat, a basement room where he's living. The strange man watches from the entrance to the alley. Interior, Olympic Academy bathroom. Sarah is in her circle, still chanting. The wall has caught fire and smoke covers the ceiling. The smoke alarm on the ceiling goes off.
The beast is rising. I call on Theseus. I need him now.
Owen Thomas, 40s, the dean at Olympic, breaks through the barricaded door. The room is thick with flames and smoke.
Sarah, what the hell are you doing?
I can't reach Theseus.
He grabs the girl who screams, tries to fend him off. School custodian, others enter. Chaos everywhere.
Call the fire department.
Exterior, abandoned building. Snapper is prying open the door to his squat.
Hello, Snapper.
Snapper turns and reacts with terror and recognition.
Minos.
Minos roughly puts his left arm around Snapper's neck from behind. With his right hand, he covers Snapper's nose and mouth with chloroform-drenched cloth.
Relax, Snapper baby. Pretty Snapper baby.
And off his terror, fade out. Fade in, interior Abe Stein's office the next day. Sarah sits in a chair across from Dr. Abe Stein, 40s, big like a bear with a beard, a wise old bear that doesn't care what he looks like. He's Corey's husband. He's trying to light his pipe.
Isn't there some kind of no smoking deal?
My landlord lives in Hong Kong.
He draws on the pipe, a long beat. Then,
What happened at school?
Called on the Oracle of Apollo, the keeper of the truth, Theseus. I need his help.
Why'd you call Theseus?
The beast is rising. Only Theseus can stop him.
And the fire?
I had to make a magic circle, cast a protective spell. I accidentally knocked over my candle with my athame.
she reaches into her bag and shows him her dagger.
You know, 2 times I've set fires in this office without meaning to.
No kidding. If you lie, I am out of here.
I think the match is out, and next thing I know, my desk is on fire or smoke is pluming out of the wastebasket.
That's why you have that big old bowl of an ashtray?
Yeah, exactly. So, how can I help you?
Obviously you can't.
Look, I know you're here because the school sent you before you can be readmitted. But consider the possibility that I may be able to help you.
No fucking way.
Trust me.
Sarah takes a drawing out of her shoulder bag. It's the same Cretan bull death mask that she taped to the bathroom mirror.
Now, mister, how are you going to help me fight the beast? He's rising and he will kill again.
Abe studies the drawing.
Is this the beast?
She puts the drawing back in her bag, closes her eyes, quietly muttering to herself, a strange chant or incantation about shaggy centaurs and ravaged women and sacrifices to the Minotaur.
I was a classics major. I know something about this stuff.
Which brings her out of her trance.
O great and patient oracle, let me kneel and pray upon Apollo's altar. There is no time.
She still holds the athame and stands up now, waving it over her head. Abe moves to her and tries to take it from her. She's on her feet now, resists, but Abe's stronger. He takes the weapon and she slugs him hard in the stomach.
Okay.
He gently tries to restrain her, but she shakes him off.
You can't help me, and you don't know who can.
Interior Greek restaurant. Hole in the wall deli off Broadway. Corey sits opposite Johnny, 20, street kid, good looking, one of her success stories. He works here and he looks like he's thriving. Buzz, African American, sits with him in the booth.
Rocket crashed in my squat last night.
What's going on with him? He took off running from my friend Lou Ballard.
The cop?
He's okay. He just wanted to ask him about 8-Ball.
Rocket's scared to death. He thinks 8-Ball was killed.
Why does he think that?
8-Ball's the father of Peanut's baby. Something bad's had to happen to him. No way he's taking off on her.
Why is Snapper ducking me? He called me and said he wants my help and then he doesn't show up?
Must be danger. The Snapper can dodge a bullet. Must be running scared.
I was supposed to meet him here about an hour ago.
Rocket and 8-Ball on the run, Snapper a no-show. I'm spooked something's going down.
Interior Minos' lair, a guest house overlooking a steep ravine. Minos is at his work table, covered with makeup supplies, paints and rouges, FX and bruise color wheels, liquid latex, spirit gum, and anything else a makeup artist might need. Snapper is strapped on his back, tied to a stretcher. He's alive, but anesthetized. Carefully, Minos applies a foam latex prosthetic appliance, a mask made from foam that's been injected into a mold. The mask is familiar, reminiscent of Sarah's drawing on the bathroom mirror. He affixes it to his victim's face with spirit gum. New angle, mirror. Attached to it, a photograph of a man, 30s, his face battered and scarred from years of boxing. He's lying on his back in the ring. His scarred, battered face is bloody. We don't exactly know the significance of this photo, but as Minos continues his work, we realize he's using the photograph as inspiration. He's making up Snapper to look just like the bloody, scarred boxer in the photo. Interior, Abe and Corey's house, dining room, evening. Family assembled. Abe and Corey, we now realize, are married. Corey's 17-year-old son, Billy, is scarfing pasta. He's got soccer practice.
It's bad enough 8-Ball goes missing. His girlfriend's gonna have a baby any minute. It's not like him.
What does Lou think?
Well, you know Lou, he says that's why they're called runaways. But on top of everything else, Snapper blew me off today.
What's up with Snapper?
He wanted to see me. We arranged to sit down with Johnny Boy and he didn't show.
Are you worried?
Something's going on out there, Abe. It's a bad vibe. It's scaring me.
Cell phone rings.
Who's that?
It's
Corey
Lou.
picks up her phone and checks the number.
It's Lou.
It's dinner time. Are you calling back?
Yeah, Lou. What's up? On my way.
Exterior volunteer park, night, crime scene. As Corey and Abe pull up in front of the Seattle Asian Art Museum. The area is cordoned with police tape. Cop cars everywhere. As they exit, they move down the hill. Lou is there.
Why am I here, Lou? Topic sentence, please.
He had your phone number in his wallet.
Show me.
Lou leads, she follows. A new angle, murder scene. A man lying on his back on the grass. His hands are beside his head, fingers spread as if posing for a picture. He has a battered face which resembles a familiar boxer. His nose broken, his eyelids and brows layered with scar tissue. A prominent scar that extends from his partially closed eye cover his brow and forehead. Corey leans in closer and realizes that this is a face that has been professionally made up. It's a boy's face, artfully made up to look like an old man. But why?
Another weird thing.
Lou wore latex gloves. He gently opened the man's mouth and lifted his tongue. There was an old silver coin under the dead man's tongue.
Jesus, what's that about?
No idea. Maybe some ritual. I'm betting he OD'd. The coin, the makeup, part of some screwy ceremony gone bad.
Corey looks closer. She lifts a metal chain hanging from around the boy's neck. It carries a small silver stallion.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Abe's arm is around her, keeping her up.
Is it?
One of yours?
Uh-huh. It's Snapper.
From Corey's horror, fade out. Fade in, interior, Abe's office, a new day. Sarah sits opposite, agitated.
Motherfucker. You stupid, time-wasting, useless motherfucker.
What have I done?
I told you about the horseman murdered on Isthmus Road.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand.
That's because you're not listening, stupid, useless time waster.
She slumps.
I'm trying to listen, but I'm confused about something. When did the horseman die, Sarah?
Last night.
Where? Where did the horseman die?
The park.
Where?
Volunteer Park?
Bud? Bud Parker?
Don't you know anything?
Snapper?
The horseman.
Snapper is the horseman.
The beast killed the horseman.
Who's the beast?
He is killing my friends. I need Theseus.
I'm sorry. I'm not doubting you. I simply don't understand. How could you know that he was in danger?
My time waster shrink. I'll show you what I know. When they found the horseman, did he have an old coin in his mouth?
How?
Don't keep asking that. It's an obelisk. Payment for Sharon, the ferryman of Hades.
No one understood that. Sarah, I'm impressed, stunned, but I'm still confused. How did you know Snapper?
The horseman was Theseus's friend. I got a postcard. On the front, there was a beautiful wild stallion, and on the back it said, "Coming soon, our secret."
Can I ask you another question?
It's what you do.
Snapper, the horseman was made up to look like a battered old man, an aging, scarred boxer. In fact, he looked like the drawing you showed me. Do you know why?
Yeah, it's a death mask. A send-off to the underworld. The beast is growing stronger.
Interior Harborview Hospital cafeteria. Abe is with Jim Peterson, MD, silver-haired 50s, Sarah's father.
I've been worried for some time, and it's just gotten worse. She's lost in this dark, crazy world she's created in her mind. That world is growing more real, more intense every day.
Why hasn't she been in treatment?
I've tried. She refuses to go. If the school wasn't making her, she wouldn't see you.
The dean said this goes back to when her mother died.
We're all still reeling from that. And since Peter left on his gap year, it's getting scary.
Is Peter her brother?
Stepbrother. Since their mother died, they've been inseparable. And now that he's gone, I'm really worried about her. Have you considered medicating her?
I'm not sure that's the answer. My work with Sarah will take time, and it may seem unconventional, but I promise to do everything I can.
Abe, she's walking around the street chanting to herself. She's been suspended from school. This is my daughter. If I don't see positive results soon, I want to have her hospitalized.
Interior Pike Market Clinic waiting room. Corey is in the waiting room on the phone with Lou.
So what does the coroner say? A seizure doesn't make any sense, Lou. There's no trace of drugs, nothing in his system? I'm with Peanut. She's just coming out. Okay, let me know.
She hangs up as now Peanut emerges from inside.
Hey, how'd it go?
Boy, I saw it. Did you find out what happened to Snapper?
There's no sign of foul play.
What?
The cops think he was involved in some strange ritual and had a seizure of some kind.
That's bullshit, Miss Logan. That's not Snapper.
Come on, let's get out of here.
They move out into exterior Pike Place Market as they move toward Corey's truck.
Snapper could dodge a bullet. I mean, he was smarter and luckier than all of us. No way he'd make himself up to look like some beat-up old boxer. No way.
What do you think happened?
Same thing that happened to 8-Ball. There is a psycho out there hunting us. And nobody cares. We're invisible. Write-offs.
Interior Queen City Grill. Abe across from Corey in a black wood booth. mullioned windows, a handsome wooden bar.
How could she possibly know that?
She knew he was in danger before he died. She warned me.
It doesn't make sense.
In Sarah's mythological universe, Snapper was the horseman, Theseus's charioteer. She told me and I simply didn't get it. You understand confidentiality, so you know I can't discuss specifics. But trust me, she predicted it and I let her down.
How could this kid predict something like this?
She knew about the coin in his mouth. How's that? She knew about the coin in his mouth. How is that?
This is unbelievable. How can I help?
Help me figure out how I can reach Sarah. You have a better feel for these kids than anyone I know.
Tell me what you can.
I know she doesn't trust me. I can't bring her into the present. And I worry if I can't reach her, she'll lose whatever fragile connection to reality she has. She's living in ancient Greece, and I just don't know how to get there.
Let her take you there. She knows the way. Follow her into the past any way you can. And then when she trusts you, like even a little, you can gently take her hand and lead her back. You're very good at that.
Exterior, the Ave, the wall. Lily and Peanut among a cluster of other kids. Also Rocket, long hair, face gaunt. Sarah arrives, out of place in this crowd. She moves to Lily.
Do you know a guy named Buzz? I gotta find Buzz.
Who are you?
I'm the sister of a friend of his.
What friend?
Peter? You know Peter? He's my brother.
Any of you guys know Peter?
Yeah, Peter was Snapper's guy. Who's she?
The beast is rising. I gotta talk to Buzz.
What beast?
The beast killed the horseman. He might have killed 8-Ball, too.
Buzz, you better come out here.
Change angle, broken down car parked behind the wall. Door opens and Buzz emerges.
What's up? Sarah?
Yeah, you know her?
Peter's sister.
Did you see Snapper yesterday?
I was waiting for him with Miss Logan. He never showed.
I saw Snapper. Yeah, he was on the Ave, talking to some red-headed rich kid driving a Prius. Looked like he gave him a book.
What were they talking about?
All I know is Snapper had a score. 8-Ball was part of it.
What kind of score?
How do I know? I don't hang with private school kids.
Exterior, East Prospect Street, Victorian house facing Volunteer Park. A quiet street, a quiet neighborhood. Minos watches. He checks his tarnished silver pocket watch, engraved with the initials CB. He opens it, and on the lid a photograph, like you'd find in a locket. A strong-looking, familiar young man stands in the wheelhouse of a fishing boat, one arm around his young daughter and another around his young son. We don't know who these children are, but we will find out. As for now, Randy emerges from the front door and starts down the steps. Minos reacts. But instead of following the kid, he waits for Randy to turn toward 15th and walk away. Then Minos shuffles across the street and down the driveway towards the rear entrance of the house. Exterior, Seattle morgue. Corey's truck pulls in and Corey exits. Interior of the morgue. Outer office. Lou is waiting.
As much as it drives me crazy to say it, I think you're onto something.
What is it?
Come on.
They enter. Interior morgue. The coroner is there.
Andy, this is Corey Logan. She finds missing young people, works with them.
You get him started on this?
She's been bugging me about that dead kid who was made up to look like a battered old boxer.
What's going on then?
Show her.
The coroner moves to the morgue drawer, pulls it open, a body on a gurney covered in a sheet. He draws it back, revealing a teenage cadaver who's made up in a way that suggests Snapper's death mask, but not as elaborate. It's the scarred, battered face of a boxer.
8-Ball.
He was here the whole time, unclaimed.
How long?
Couple of weeks. Oh, sorry.
Couple weeks.
We'd never have identified him if you didn't put that hair up my ass about the face paint.
Cut to exterior Olympic Academy front entrance. Sarah walks up to the fur-framed smoky glass door. It's locked. She keeps pushing the button, smiles at the video monitor, and eventually Owen steps outside.
Sarah, you're not allowed to be here.
I need to see my friend, Randy.
Is this an emergency?
Definitely. I reached Apollo. I need to talk to Randy right away.
Sarah, we've been through all this. I can't interrupt class. I'll call Dr. Stein if you'd like.
No, you're not listening.
Owen turns away, ignoring her.
May Zeus, the lightning bearer, strike you dumb as you are deaf.
Owen just pulls the door closed and it latches.
Damn you!
She pushes the button several more times and then moves off in frustration. Exterior Olympic Academy campus. There's a bench on 10th Street. She paces and dials her cell phone. It goes to Abe's voicemail.
Where are you? You're never there when I need you. Perithous, Prince of Lapis, is in danger. He's Theseus's friend. Only Theseus can save him. Call me back. We need to raise Theseus.
She hangs up. Cut to a point of view as someone watches. We don't know who it is. Exterior of the alley behind the Olympic Academy. Sarah lights a fire in a trash can. She takes her athame from her black shoulder bag as well as some herbs, rock salt, and occult paraphernalia. She begins chanting and twirling as she waves the athame above her head.
I call on Theseus. I need you now. I call on Apollo. I am the priestess, secret sister of Theseus. I pray to Apollo. I call on blue-haired Poseidon, master of ships and stallions. You who sired him, lead me to Theseus. The beast is rising. I need him now.
Cut to the watcher, who we reveal is Minos. She doesn't see him as he starts to move towards her.
Nothing! You grant me nothing! Then there must be blood. The gods must dance in blood.
Her body stiffens, and then she brings her athame down against her forearm and turns her arm so the blood flows from the open wound into the fire.
Accept my offering, great Apollo, keeper of light.
Minos is almost upon her now as suddenly sirens off screen. Cop cars, as if from everywhere, converging down the alley. Sarah stands transfixed. Minos folds into the shadows as the cops approach Sarah.
Take me. I am your vessel. Let me cry out your prophecy.
Put down the weapon. On the ground. On the ground.
Why have the Furies not punished you? A mere mortal who taunts the Cretan bull by my curse. It is you, brazen child, who will dance in blood.
She moves to cut herself again, but the cops are on her. She collapses, disarmed and crushed. Fade out. Fade in on the interior of the Capitol Hill precinct holding area. Abe arrives, and Lou is there.
They work with you. They end up dead or in jail.
Where is she?
She's in holding. She tried to burn the school down, and she almost cut her own arm off.
An accident?
Jesus, Doc, don't you know your own patient? When they stopped her, she was squeezing her forearm, bleeding out in the fire. Is that your idea of an accident?
We got to get her out of there, Lou.
There's only so many times I can be your get-out-of-jail-free card.
Then can I talk to her? She was right about 8 Ball. She was right about Snapper.
I can get you in a room with her.
Cut to interior interview room. Sarah sits opposite. Her arm is bandaged.
Are you okay?
No, not okay. No one is listening to me. There is danger. The beast is rising. I smelled him last night in a dream.
What do you mean you smelled him?
The beast smell.
What does the beast smell like, Sarah?
Minty? Like eucalyptus mixed with sweat and mint. No, menthol.
When did you first notice that smell?
Crazy. The first time ever, at the hotel suite. After my mother died, I was 6. I was having nightmares. I opened my door just a little and saw 2 men dancing and kissing in the living room. In the morning, my father told me it was a dream, but the smell was there.
Cold creams often have eucalyptus and menthol.
Cold cream? Yes, that's it.
Cold cream is used to remove makeup. It's possible that he makes himself up.
I don't know. And I don't want to talk about that. If I don't find Theseus, Perithous is going to die. I tell you we're out of time. I ask you to help. Next thing I know, I'm locked up in jail being treated like a crazy person, and you're talking about cold cream.
I'm gonna try to get you out of here. And I'm listening. Sarah, I'd like to see you every day until we find Theseus.
I need Apollo. I need Zeus. I need Poseidon. I don't need an absent-minded, strength-sapping shrink.
Try me.
Sarah ignores him. She begins chanting. Her face turns red and she goes into a trance-like state. She sways back and forth and then cries out.
Murder, betrayal, deceit. Pan, the satyr, the goat man, is the lover of the naiads in their drunken orgies. Beware, Pan.
Why Pan?
Beware, Pan.
She prophesizes again, gasping for breath.
Pan?
The goat devil, who hides his hairy black goatishness with well-washed white fleeces.
Sarah, I need to understand. Who are you talking about?
The goat devil!
Abe is bearing down now.
Sarah, you're talking in metaphors. I need to know specifically. Who are you talking about?
Pan, the satyr.
As suddenly the door opens, Lou enters.
Get done.
Lou, come on. 5 more minutes.
Working out with her dad. He bailed her out and he's pissed.
Interior, Capitol Hill Precinct. Booking. Abe is with Jim.
We need to talk.
I don't think so.
Why? What's going on?
It's none of your business anymore.
Jim, I can help her.
We don't need your kind of help. You're under your care. She's cutting herself, setting fires. She's having a psychotic break and she needs to be in the hospital.
I think you're wrong.
What you think doesn't matter anymore. You're fired.
Exterior, abandoned building. We remember it from the beginning. JB is waiting outside as Corey's truck pulls up. Corey exits.
You're sure he was here?
I found his stuff.
As they enter, interior Randy's squat. Building is scheduled for demolition. An old couch, a broken refrigerator, and a table.
He stayed here for 3 nights. It was 8Ball's place before he went missing.
What's going on, JB?
I talked to Buzz about that. The way we put it together, Snapper and 8Ball were working on a big score.
What score?
Some old rich dude. They got their hooks on him, into him somehow.
New angle, a laundry bag in the corner. She takes it and opens it. A couple of books, including Mary Renault's The Bull from the Sea. On the cover, an image that reminds us of Minos. As she absorbs this, her phone rings off screen. Cut to exterior Capitol Hill Precinct. Abe moving to his car.
We got problems. I think Randy's next.
Randy, why?
I just saw Sarah. She insists that Perithous is going to die. Listening to her describe him, I believe that Randy is Perithous. She went to school looking for him. She called me when she wouldn't let them in. Her dad's locking her up in the hospital, and if I'm right, it's up to us to find Randy.
Abe, he's with Billy.
Now we know Billy is in danger too. Interior Blue City Cafe, an old Victorian house converted to a sprawling cafe in the Pike Pine corridor. Billy sits in the back with a bunch of friends. The red-headed kid we saw in the opening sequence is there with him. The kid's name is Randy. He's taking pictures with his cell phone. One of the popular kids, Dave, is a thin, well-dressed thoroughbred, different looking than Billy and his friends.
Where's your voodoo bitch friend, the fire starter?
When we want your shit, I'll squeeze your head.
Dave snorts, give him the finger, and struts off, still chanting. Randy is standing behind Alex, 17, his boyfriend.
Hey, Billy, get a picture of us, will you?
He hands his cell phone to Billy and poses lewdly with Alex. Randy's long, fiery hair belongs on some Viking warrior. Billy snaps the picture, just as a call comes in. Randy takes the phone back.
Yo. Peter? That's great news, for sure. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
He hangs up.
I gotta go.
What's up?
Guy says he saw Peter in London. Peter gave him something for me.
Randy leaves. Interior truck, Corey, as she turns off Pike Street onto 12th. She pulls up in front of exterior Blue City Cafe just as Billy and others exit.
Where's Randy?
He took off.
Where?
He got a phone call, something about Peter.
Sarah's brother?
Yeah? Why?
I gotta find Randy. Amy, is your mom at home?
Amy, a lanky, pretty girl, nods yes.
You and Billy go to your house and I'll be in touch. Stay there until you hear from me.
What's going on?
Stay at Amy's. I'll tell you when I find Randy.
She hops back in her truck and goes. Interior truck. She dials Lou on her cell phone.
Lou, we gotta find this kid.
Not again.
I think it's serious. He just left Blue City Cafe, headed toward Broadway. Get everybody you can on it.
You and your out-of-step husband keep going off the reservation. I can't keep up with you.
Do what you can, Lou. I don't want another kid to die.
Interior Pike Street coffee shop, crowded with tourists. We find Randy sitting at a counter table in the Starbucks. A man, 50s, approaches, dressed professorially, wire-rimmed glasses and bearded. A black cashmere sweater, gray herringbone sport coat, black dress slacks. He calls himself Francis Duncan, a professor at the University of Washington. But if we look closely, we'll discover a faint and familiar scar across his brow disguised by makeup.
You must be Randy. I'm Francis. I'm faculty here at the U.
How do you know Peter?
We spent time together last week in London. He approached me after my lecture on the Elgin marbles. We hit it off right away. He was most impressed. I was most impressed with his knowledge of Greek mythology.
Sounds like Peter, all right.
From his briefcase, the man takes a street artist rendering of a young man, Peter, posing in front of the British Museum.
I drew this last week. He looks good, doesn't he? He wanted you to have it.
He looks great.
Under which Randy's cell phone is ringing. Randy lets it go to voicemail.
He sends his best to you and to Sarah. He asked if you could get in touch with him.
How do I reach him?
As a matter of fact, he's staying with a friend of mine in Crete. With the time change, I'm pretty sure we can get him on a Skype call now.
Seriously?
Hop in the car. We can do it from my office.
Randy does so. Exterior Abe's office. Abe waits on the corner, cell phone to his ear, and Corey's truck pulls up. Interior of the truck, Abe climbs in.
Where's Billy?
I just talked to him. He's at Amy's house. He gave me Randy's phone number.
And?
I tried it. He's not picking up.
Try it again.
Interior Minos' lair, close on Randy's cell phone. It rings and rings. We widen to reveal Randy laid out on a gurney, sedated and strapped down just as Snapper was, his mouth taped. Minos looks through a scrapbook of photographs and drawings. Close on a photograph, the Cretan bull on his back, lying face up on the mat. His face is battered and bloody. A huge scar is open from his brow to his hairline. And now we realize Minos is working on Randy's death mask, copying this image. Randy's eyes are terrified. Minos moves to him now.
I'm going to take the tape off. I want to ask you some questions.
He removes the tape. Randy starts to scream.
That's stupid. You need to be quiet.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Minos has a pair of pliers and he sets Randy's finger in a vise.
Listen carefully. Snapper gave you a book. Where is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Please don't be stupid.
And with that, he clamps down on the pliers, crushing the boy's knuckle. Randy screams.
You sick fuck!
9 more to go. Now where's the book?
Minos sets the pliers on another knuckle and applies pressure.
It's lost. I can't find it.
Bullshit. Think back.
More pressure.
I could have given it to my friend by mistake. I had to drop off some art history books for a project.
What friend?
More pressure.
Billy Logan.
Minos smiles, crushes another knuckle, and off Randy's agony. Cut to interior Logan Stein house. Kitchen door, evening. As glass shatters, a gloved hand reaches inside to open the door. Minos is inside. Over his shoulder, a black shoulder bag. Interior Billy's room, soccer team photos, typical high school kid. Minos enters and starts methodically going through the bookshelves, empties drawers, nothing. He's growing more and more frustrated. He shakes his fists in the air. He moves to the shoulder bag and opens it. A box, and inside the box, a snake. He holds it aloft with one hand.
I call on thee, Zeus, greatest of all the gods. I sacrifice this serpent.
And with a long knife, which he takes from his coat pocket, he slices the snake's head off. It spurts blood. He sets the head of the snake on the floor in a pool of blood, and with his thumb, he smears the blood in a distinctive pattern, the horns of the Cretan bull. Fade out. Fade in, interior Billy's room. Later, close on the sacrifice. The snake's head in the middle of the floor in a pool of blood. The horns of the bull, Picasso-like. Underneath the head and the horns, a sideways Z is carved with a knife in the oak wood floor. The grotesque sacrifice is encircled by a ring of snake's blood. Widen to reveal Abe and Corey. Billy is with them, and Lou looks on.
Any idea what this is?
No. None. Gross.
What is it? Some kind of gang symbol?
No, I don't think so. Those look like horns. They could be the horns on the Cretan bull in the drawing Sarah showed me.
My gut says it's connected to Snapper, that same creepy weirdness.
The dead kid with the mink eye?
The bull is an important symbol in Greek mythology. And suppose the Z is a lightning bolt, Zeus's weapon. What if this is some kind of sacrifice?
So now we're talking about a cult?
Shit, Sarah would know what this was. I mean, it's the kind of thing she talks about.
Shit is right. You're a nutcase patient? I'll talk to her.
No, you won't.
All the books are on the floor.
Why was he looking through your books?
How do I know?
The question triggers something in Corey.
I found a book in Snapper's room. Do you think it had something to do with this?
She takes out the copy of Mary Renault's The Bull from the Sea.
That's just like the book Randy gave me. Oh, I got it in my backpack.
What are you people talking about?
Billy opens his backpack and takes out The King Must Die, also by Mary Renault, the sister volume. He hands it to Abe. As Abe opens the book, in the frontispiece is a drawing of a gravestone upon which is engraved, Moira, even the king must die. He turns the page and finds an envelope, and in the envelope a necklace with a stallion pendant, the same necklace that Sarah wears, the same one Snapper was wearing when he died.
Snapper wore that necklace.
So did Sarah.
What's the connection?
Well, Peter and Snapper were together.
Together? Like boyfriend?
Billy nods.
What do you know about Peter?
He's a legend. Wicked smart. I mean, fearless, sexy to girls and to boys, and charismatic, yeah. Everyone wanted to be his friend.
How did Peter know Snapper?
Randy. He knows a lot of street kids. Did we ever find out what killed Snapper?
Lou, did you find out if Snapper was poisoned?
Abe, you asked me twice. I told you. The toxicology report came back negative.
Sarah thought he was poisoned with wolfsbane, which might not show up if you didn't know what you were looking for.
Wolfsbane? I thought that was a band.
Call the ME. Have him checked.
Every time I get around the Logan Steins, you start telling me what I can and can't do. Even more irritating, you start connecting things in ways that make no sense.
Snapper did not kill himself. He wasn't a part of any ritual, weird or otherwise, and he sure as hell didn't make himself up to look like a broken down old boxer.
Sarah predicted Snapper's death. She said that he was poisoned. I mean, this is all connected.
Lou cracks a knuckle, shakes his head, and goes to the door.
Abe, what are you gonna do?
I've got to get to Sarah.
But they fired you.
I'll figure it out.
Interior Harborview Hospital, 5th floor. The nurse looks up as Abe enters. He has a backpack over his shoulder.
I'm Dr. Stein.
Yes. Dr. Stein, are you here to see a patient?
Cut to an angle of the wet board, behind the nurse's station with patients' names written out in red marker. Among the names, Sarah Peterson, but that's not the name Abe uses.
I'm here for Maury Schwartz,
Are you his attending?
a former patient, a personal friend.
Maury Schwartz, 7B.
Abe heads off. Interior corridor. He moves past room 7B towards the end of the hall. An orderly moves past with a pile of laundry. Abe moves on towards room 9D. He enters. Sarah lies in bed, sedated and catnapping. Abe moves to her.
Sarah.
She stirs.
Stein?
We need to help Paradis.
They won't let me out.
He opens his backpack, extracts a long white lab coat and a surgeon's mask.
Put these on.
What are you doing?
Busting you out of here. Let's go.
I can't believe you. You're the crazy one.
We're a good team.
Sarah rises and takes the lab coat.
Give me a head start. In 2 minutes, come out of here like you own the joint. Take this.
He hands her a clipboard. Interior corridor, as Abe moves past the nurse's station. She doesn't look up. Cut to Sarah in a lab coat, mouth hidden behind the surgical mask. She has her head down as if studying the clipboard. Nurse looks up, about to say something, but the phone rings under, pulling her attention away as we cut to interior 5th floor elevator. Abe holds open the door as Sarah enters. The doors close.
Let's rock and roll.
Interior Minos' lair, close on Randy's face, covered in the Cretan Bull death mask. Minos reopens the scar with an X-Acto knife, applying liquid latex to make the scar bigger, more grotesque. Intercut to interior Abe's car, and Sarah sits passenger.
The snake's head was a sacrifice to Zeus. Oak is his wood. Zeus is known as the serpent god. The sideways Xeon is thunderbolt. The horns are likely the horns of the Cretan bull.
Why the Cretan bull?
Well, Zeus transformed into a snow white bull to abduct Europa to Crete. Minos was their child. Years later, then, that same white bull came from the sea and fathered the Minotaur. The Cretan bull has a great significance for Zeus.
Why would the beast make a sacrifice to Zeus?
He's angry about something and he wants more power. He's looking for something. He needs Zeus's help to find what he's looking for.
The book?
Not just that. He's keeping us from Theseus. The beast will use whatever power Zeus grants him to keep us from reaching Apollo, from finding Theseus. He's going to kill again.
Interior Minos' lair. He paints blood on the death mask sparingly. The secret is adding chocolate syrup to the blood mix. The syrup, a wet thickener, adds a deep maroon Venus color to the blood. Interior Abe's office. Sarah has set up a magic circle on the floor. She's lit a candle at each of the 5 points of the star in her circle. In the middle, a cauldron sitting on a tripod, jerry-rigged camping equipment. Has bubbles above a propane fire. Inside, a potion of wine, herbs, and rock salt.
Accept my offer, great Apollo, keeper of light. Lead us to Theseus. I am your vessel, great Apollo. Let me cry out your prophecy.
But the gods are silent. Abe looks on.
I call on Payan Apollo, on Zeus, the cloud gatherer, and on great Poseidon, who speaks like the sea. Help us find Theseus. We need him now.
This isn't working.
There must be blood. The gods dance in blood.
And she raises the athame and begins to bring it down. Abe grabs her wrist.
There will be blood.
He takes the athame from her and brings it down on his own exposed forearm. He lets the blood from the wound run down into the cauldron.
I call on Theseus. We need you now.
Sarah twirls, grateful. Abe is with her, and together they can prevail. Beads of frenzied sweat. Her face is radiant.
I call on Poseidon, the fierce and beautiful.
I call on Apollo, the truth teller.
Sarah is swaying, eyes heavenward transfixed, almost gone. Now is the moment. Abe takes a chair and moves it into the circle. He guides Sarah to sit in it. He takes out of his backpack the Mary Renault book, The King Must Die, and presents it to her.
Randy gave this book to Billy by mistake.
He opens the book and shows her the frontispiece, which depicts a gravestone with the inscription, Moira, even the king must die.
Moira, even the king must die.
Abe gives her the chain with the silver stallion. She begins to shake. She cries out a plaintive, piercing wail over and over, tears flowing down her cheeks.
The king is dead. Theseus is dead.
She takes slow, deliberate breaths.
Peter? Peter?
Yes. Peter is dead.
How? How do you know?
She takes his hands, looks up at him.
This was Snapper's handwriting. This is our code. This is what we agreed to write on Peter's tombstone. And this is his stallion.
Okay. Peter was our modern day Theseus. Okay, so we understand half the equation. Theseus, the horseman, and Perithus. That's Peter, Snapper, and Randy. But the other half, the beast, that's what we need to understand now.
That's not the question.
What's not the question?
The question is, if my brother is dead, who is my dad talking to?
Interior Corey's truck. Corey drives and Lou is with her.
Are you sure? Jim?
It has to be.
Corey looks over at Lou, who's already calling Jim. Intercut to interior, Abe's car. Sarah sits passenger.
I think Jim Peterson's had some kind of psychotic break. He believes he's talking to his dead son.
You think he's responsible for killing these boys?
He becomes someone else. I don't know why. We need to find him.
Lou tried his office. He's not there.
Abe turns to Sarah.
Where would he be?
The ravine. His art studio, 1234 23rd.
Got that? Okay, we'll meet you there.
He hangs up. He turns to Sarah, who's off somewhere, tearing up.
Could you tell me what you're thinking about, Sarah?
You're my modern day Theseus. Took me a while to get that.
She squeezes his offered hand.
Let's go get Randy.
Interior Minos' lair. The mask is complete. Minos cuts Randy's hair and then shaves his head with his father's Navy Imperial straight razor. Carefully, he attaches a designer wig. Cut to the surgical table, and on it a tray and surgical cloth. On the cloth, a syringe, and next to it a small brown medical vial which reads pseudoconazole, wolfsbane, as he fills the syringe with the brown liquid and injects it into his victim. Exterior Minos' lair, the outbuilding, overlooking the ravine as Corey and Lou arrive.
Wait here.
He exits the car and moves to the house. He looks through a crack in the curtains covering a window into the lair. Interior Minos' lair. Minos' makeup appliance is already glued seamlessly over his face. His curly-haired wig rests naturally on his head. He faces the mirror, putting on the final touches, covering his grotesque, reopened scar with the purple bloom birthmark that spreads across his cheek. He references a photo on the mirror of the Cretan bull lying dead in his coffin. Exterior Minos' lair, as now Abe and Sarah arrive. Corey moves to them.
Jim?
Lou from the house.
He's inside.
Interior Minos' lair. Minos' transformation is complete. He is the scarred, ravaged Cretan bull once more. As he moves to the gurney where Randy's body lies, the front door explodes open. Lou's gun is drawn.
Stand down!
Corey and Abe rush to Randy's gurney. Sarah looks at Minos, transfixed, and she screams. One long, desolate wail. Minos knows it's over. He surrenders as Lou cuffs him. Abe gently removes Randy's makeup appliance. He's breathing, barely.
Call an ambulance.
Corey does so.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Unlucky Red is dying. Go, boy, go!
Hurry!
Cut to exterior, the lair, the crime scene. EMTs wheel Randy towards a waiting ambulance.
Call Saul Levy, the medical examiner. If it's wolfsbane, he'll know what the antidote is.
The ambulance doors shut and drive away.
You okay?
Sarah nods, and we cut to interior Minos' lair, close on Minos in shackles. Corey and Lou look on as Abe and Sarah return.
Start at the beginning. Now, Doc.
The doctor is not here, Detective. Minos is here.
Who are you?
I am Minos, the Cretan bull, son of Zeus, the thunderer. I take care of your father.
Flash cut to a stylized drawing, the Cretan bull death mask Sarah first showed Abe. It's a Picasso-like abstract representation of the scarred, battered face of the Cretan bull lying dead in the ring. The artist has attached horns to the broken face.
You're a monster. You're the beast. You killed my friend.
I had no choice. He was blackmailing the master, your father.
You are my father.
I am not your father. Your father knows nothing about any of this.
But you know everything about him.
Who the hell is this guy?
He's Minos, the Cretan bull. He wants to tell Sarah about his son.
What son?
Corey smiles and squeezes Abe's shoulder.
Take the cuffs off.
What?
Let Minos tell Sarah her father's story, his own way. He's no threat to anyone anymore.
You're my favorite shrink ever.
Lou removes the cuffs.
What started this?
It began when your father, young Minos, saw his own father strike and kill his beloved sister, Ariadne.
The pocket watch photograph, the fisherman, Minos the father, and young Minos, Jim as a boy, and the young girl who we realize is now young Minos' sister, Ariadne.
She fell and hit her head on the marble coffee table. She died instantly.
Sarah looks on, uncomprehending.
What sister?
One of your father's secrets.
What else? Minos, I'm his daughter.
Your grandfather was a boxer named the Cretan Bull. He was literally beaten to death in the ring in Seattle when the master was 9.
Flash cut to a photograph. The dead fighter features disfigured and bloody lying on the canvas. It's the same photo we've seen on the mirror when Minos was fashioning snappers and then Randy's Cretan Bull death masks.
Soon after, the master was sent to an orphanage. The Petersons adopted him. By then, your father had buried his past. He became a successful physician. He was 30 when you were born, but 6 years later, tragedy struck again.
When Mom died.
Your father was broken. He was unable to handle the loss.
And that, I'm guessing, is where you came in.
My God, it was you, dancing with another man in my hotel suite that night.
Yes, child. After your mother died, your father was devastated, overwhelmed. He was having unwelcome, unsettling desires.
And you appeared to help him find comfort with other men.
Flash cut to Minos disguised as Francis, the professor, dancing with another man.
Yes, but then the master didn't need me anymore.
Abe nods.
Back when Peter left.
Except Peter didn't leave, did he? You came back because something went horribly wrong. Something between Jim and Peter, his own stepson.
Yes, Jim was in love with Peter. Peter knew his stepfather was gay and he seduced him. For Peter, this was just an adventure. And when he met Snapper, he moved on. It destroyed your father. They fought. It was an accident. Jim slapped Peter too hard, and Peter split his skull on the fireplace mantel.
The same thing your father did to his daughter.
A beat as he puts this together.
And Minos came back again to take care of Jim.
After Peter's death, your father couldn't function, and so many things had to be done.
And then 8-Ball and Snapper wanted money.
They tried to blackmail the master, but by then I knew exactly what to do to keep the master's made-up world intact.
Flash cut to Snapper's corpse, prostrate as it was found in Volunteer Park, wearing the Cretan Bull death mask in all its grotesque horror. And now the image starts to morph to the horned Cretan Bull death mask stylized drawing, as Sarah first showed it to Abe. Though stylized, it's the same shocking image. Morph to the photo of the Cretan Bull lying dead in the boxing ring. Dissolve to the photo of the Cretan Bull lying dead in his coffin, the first time his purple birthmark appeared. And dissolve to Minos, made up in the image of the Cretan Bull lying in his coffin. He gently kisses his daughter's brow. Sarah is crying. He raises his thumbs, his long forefingers to frame his face. His fingers curl into fists with the extended forefinger of each hand settled just above his temples, curling forward. Abe reacts in horror too late. Minos, like a bull as he charges in one fluid motion, throws himself through the window into the steep, rocky ravine below. Exterior waterfront park, days later. As Abe and Corey exit Corey's truck and head up the walkway toward the gathering of mourners. It's a memorial service for Peter.
Minos, Jim Peterson, and the Cretan Bull. Were all three of them the beast?
I've thought about that. It's complicated and counterintuitive. But no, I think they were three different people inhabiting the same body. Three distinct, unintegrated personalities until the very end. When Minos told Jim's story. Minos at the end was Jim with all of his memories. In that sense, Sarah was right. Only the Cretan Bull had to die. He was the beast.
As they approach the mourners, Sarah is there, Randy next to her, and Billy is with them. Also several of the street kids, including Buzz and Peanut with her baby, and Rocket. Sarah sees Abe and moves to them.
Did it? We saved Parathis.
No, you did that.
I couldn't have done it without my tireless therapist, my modern-day Theseus, my foul-weathered friend.
You're a remarkable young woman, Sarah. Your father, Minos, and even the Cretan Bull were all immensely proud of you, beyond words. You were right and unstoppable. And in the end, even the cruel Cretan Bull wanted you to know your father's story, to understand it. He took his own life to protect your father and to protect you.
As now Billy approaches with Randy, Peanut, her baby, Rocket, and Buzz also.
Yo, you miss big time, Miss Logan.
Snapper, 8-Ball, they'd be two more street kids gone. Poof. MIA.
And I'll have some Main Streeters look out for us.
I miss them. And Peter, I'll miss Peter.
It's time to say goodbye.
She holds a box with her brother's ashes and moves to the water's edge and opens it. Peter's ashes, as the wind carries them out into Elliott Bay, and we fade out. End.
Hi, everyone. You guys can unmute. It's okay. It's totally fine. You can unmute. Please don't let me be the only person talking. Wow. I remember seeing the casting, not the table read casting going out for this. I want to say it was either early this year or sometime last year. I only say that I'm mixing up the days because the pandemic has kind of like scrunched everything together. and every day is the same as the last one.
Yes.
So I'm really excited that we get to do a film summit this year, like in person. But that kind of also taught us to be able to do things like virtually for those people who aren't able to, be here and everything. And so definitely grateful for the actors. Well, sorry, definitely grateful for the screenwriters too that wrote this beautiful play. But 100% for the actors too who brought this play to life during, through a online, through the internet. So guys, that was amazing. That was so great. And I'm just giving you a round of applause. Also, a round of applause. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that. So my name is Abby. I am the guest relations person over for the Film Summit. Totally volunteered to do this because, I got a chance to see the recording of the table read and was just ecstatic seeing you guys just get into it. Especially the knuckle pulling part. So, Jacob, it's so lovely to see you virtually.
Yeah.
Burt, you also.
Thank you.
I saw your expressions happening while you were seeing the reading and the seriousness. It was so great. Because it was like you were all just being pulled in to the play and everything too, or to the script. So well, I mean, I know I saw that we had one question on there, and Mayor, I believe, asked, is this going to actually get produced?
Not immediately.
What?
We I mean, it's still out here. It's just we're hoping. So wonderful things can happen, but it's it's a very competitive, tough industry, and Burt's books are wonderful, and he's got a new one. So it would be great. We'll bring everybody at the table read in, and we'll do it right this time.
So Burt, what were your thoughts on the screenplay? Well, at least when you wrote the story, and then watching everyone actually bring these characters to life. Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I was very impressed with the actors and actresses. I mean, I think it's very hard to do something like this when you're doing it with a Zoom and, you don't have time to rehearse. And I think that they did a really lovely job. I mean, I just think that it worked. If we had a long time and we're able to rehearse a lot and, bring a TV crew there and did it for real, it would be something different. But this is a very good start.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, the one thing that I love. Well, I don't know if I could say that I loved about the pandemic, but it was definitely a bonus just to see the capability of so many people being able to do things from home, right? So you have the chance to be closer to family or get on family nerves or whatever. But it kind of taught our world to be able to do things, from our own comfort spot, right? So people were able, even if they're all over the world, like I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a chance to chat with friends once a week that lived in the UK. And so, we survive, right? And we push on and we do things like this, to make things actually happen. I'd love to get like a little background from all of the actors, especially some thoughts about your characters that you got to play. The kind of wild characters. So I would love to hear a little bit of information of like how you you know, prepared for the character and how you got into this, you know, the thoughts and everything.
I can go first if you want.
Sure. Yeah. Leah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah. I played Sarah. So I'm from Seattle originally, went to school out east in Pennsylvania, was back in Seattle for a couple years after, and as of Monday, moved to Los Angeles. So you're all sitting on a moving box right now. But I mean, talk about Zoom and being able to join, you know, anytime, anywhere. So I'm glad to be here. I think it's that's a great question, because my first instinct with a character like this, at first when I was reading the script, you know, a sort of Cassandra type person who, you know, she's trying to tell the truth, people aren't listening to her, is that, like, you know, that they're very something, you know, sensitive or you know, fragile. And I think that sort of the most exciting thing for me to discover with Sarah was that she's not really that way. At least that's what I sort of thought I found in her, is that she, you know, she's pissed off and she's tough, and it was really fun to discover that, and to then have, you know, the everything that she's dealing with layered on top of who she is. I think made it a lot more fun than it would have been to just sort of go with that, you know, that you see so often, especially with if this sort of type of character is a woman who just kind of is like, oh, everything's happening to me. So it was a blast. Yeah.
Can I jump in here for just a second? I thought you were exceptional. I thought you did a terrific job. And I think it's a hard, you know, it's a hard person to get right, and you did. I mean, this was really the hardest part to write, was to write Sarah. And I feel like you got it. So my hat off to you. Chapeau, as they say in French.
Oh, well, that means a lot. Thank you.
That was great. Kendra?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kendra McDermott. I'm an actress in Seattle, Washington. And yeah, I mean, I just felt so fortunate just to be asked to be involved in the project. I mean, once I read the script for this, I mean, it's just so incredibly well written. And once you really get into that story, it just starts moving so fast. And I remember the first time I read it, just like turning the page, like, I got to know what the heck is going on. So was just really excited to be a part of the cast as Peanut, Snapper's pregnant girlfriend. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 Ball's pregnant girlfriend, and as well as the nurse. And yeah, I'm really hoping that you guys get an opportunity to make this, because that relationship that you have between Corey and Lou, and then Corey and Abe, and that, you know, that dynamic between the 3 of them is just so interesting and so fun to watch. And I think the actors that did it in the table read really just nailed it. So yeah, I'm excited to be involved, and hopefully there's more for you guys in the future that you'll see more of all of us.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Adam?
Hi, hello. My name is Adam Brooks. I played Randy and Johnny. And I am very lucky that my downstairs neighbors didn't come banging on my door asking me what was wrong during the torture scene, which is hard to do when you have somewhat thin floors, but it's fine. No, it was, I loved being able to do, having the opportunity to do a scene like that, where you kind of really push to the extremes of what, you know, people, you don't want people to experience, but some people do sadly experience it. And I really loved the opportunity. I really loved hitting on what you were talking about, Abby. I really liked doing, having the opportunity to do a Zoom performance like this. You know, a byproduct of the pandemic is it forced people in our industry to really explore different mediums using the technology that we have at our fingertips. And it's something that I was kicking around, whether or not, you know, we would see more streamed, recorded sort of content like this. And I think we had the opportunity to explore it, and I'm glad we did. And I think a lot of people got a lot of interesting discoveries in this medium. So, but yeah, I'm based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, originally from Philadelphia, Mississippi. And yeah, nice to meet everyone. Nice to see everyone again.
So we have questions from the audience. So Minos is the third book in a trilogy. 3 movies, or would you put it all into one?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear.
Sorry. So Minos is the third book in the trilogy.
Right.
So for the idea of a trilogy, do you have the idea of having 3 movies or putting everything into one movie, which means cutting a lot of things out?
I think we thought about it as a series, and we went through all of the novels and thought, which would be, the sort of the rules of a pilot are not to kind of set up a kind of a premise pilot, because then people come back the next week once the series sort of is ongoing, and they don't, the first episode really should be what the show is, and that was how we thought that was the strongest story to sort of set the characters up and their on the run in the middle of the case. The earlier novels introduced Corey to Abe in the first place, and we thought that we wanted to sort of at least take this sample episode out and show people what the show would really be like, and maybe we would go back at the beginning and write do the first one first, but that this was a better shot at getting it made.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why most people like episodic type series, right, compared to a movie, because so much stuff gets cut out. Right. I know that a friend of mine, Mercedes Lackey, actually just got all of her Valdemir, right, books looked at for Netflix. And so it's just like, there's so many things that you need to not cut out of those books. So please do your best in not doing it. But I mean, like, that's what I said, like, that's the whole point of having, an episodic series, is that you can put as much content in there because you have the content available. Right. So, okay. Another question. What was the inspiration behind Minos?
I think it was really Sarah. I mean, it was really about a girl who is so troubled by something she doesn't understand. And, you find it out at the very end, but she's created this whole world that makes sense to her, but to nobody else.
Yeah.
And, that was the other thing, was to write Abe being able to enter that world and eventually get it. I mean, and so that it's that sort of creating a character who really is disturbed, but is struggling to let people know that she understands something that she's not even conscious of. And that's the tension of the whole book. And that was the thing that started it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so I guess you kind of just built the other characters around Sarah then.
Well, no, I mean, we know Abe and we know Corey and we know Lou. I mean, these are all characters who've been in the series. But this is more Abe's book than the other books.
Okay.
Look, the second book is Teaser, the first book is Inside Passage, and they're more Corey. And this is more Abe, because Abe is the one who really has the job of, when Corey says to Abe to go for it, really, go where she's going and figure it out. That's a big step for a therapist to do that kind of thing. And it's not very conventional. And it worked out. So that was really fun to write.
Yeah. Yeah. Jacob, what made you think about writing this into a screenplay?
Well, I just wrote, I read the books and I just thought this is these are such it's such a great world, and that you know, you've never seen a kind of a tag team like Abe and Corey before. It just seemed like a natural idea, and you know, and Burt was, you know, generous enough to say, let's try it, and so we struck, you know, it just laid out very easily to structure it. It just seemed, you know, I mean, Burt had spent so much time producing movies and screenplays, so he just, you know, he thinks in terms of structure, you know, innately. So it really was just a question of, you know, following the spine of the narrative and building it out from that. So it was a lot of fun.
And I always want to know this: how did that relationship start between writer and screenwriter? Like, you guys are friends, obviously. Were you just longtime friends, and you were like, I love the books, I want to turn them?
When Burt was producing Raggedy Man and some of these early movies, I was his reader. I would sit in his basement of his office. We stayed friends throughout, and when Burt, you know, began, you know, he'd always been a kind of a, you know, he was, you know, sort of famous for being a very writer-friendly producer. He was you know, which was not a common dynamic. He really worked most intensely and intimately with script writers, and would be in his office with the door closed, and they really, you know, he co-wrote a lot of these pieces that he produced in those days. And so you know, he just cut out the middleman. He got rid of the screenwriter and just wrote his own stories. And it's interesting, if you go back and look at some of Burt's movies, there's a DNA there that's very strong, and you'll feel it when you read the novels. You'll see this is very much like, you know, you know, he has a real vision, and that's so it's a lot of fun to be allowed to share.
It seems like it's very organic and authentic, and I think that's what's important in most relationships too.
Yeah.
So Burt creates his own writer's room, locks the doorway. No one is allowed to come in until these scripts are finished. I love it.
His novel writing. I mean, I'm assuming it's that. It's a, you know, but I don't know where he goes to. I don't know his writer's room or where this whole thing takes place.
Yeah. Is that a like going off to a deserted island somewhere and just staying away from the world for a week?
It could just be sitting in the kitchen. I don't know.
Right where I'm sitting. It's right where I am right now. This is my desk.
Make it more extravagant, right? Okay, so this question is for the actors. So what did you enjoy the most about the script? Putting you all on the spot.
I enjoyed the mythological allegory. That's always my favorite kind of subject in terms of ancient story, classical storytelling, etc. So being able to see those characters, those names applied as symbolism for different characters, and seeing that be integrated as a puzzle for Abe to decipher from Sarah. I thought that was excellent and very interesting to watch and read.
Boy, that's the best critique of something I've ever heard. That's
Thank you so much.
Leah or Kendra?
I think my favorite thing was watching the relationships build between the different characters over the course of the story. There were some, of course, that already had clear relationships at the beginning, and others that sort of flourished or you saw develop. But I think, you know, Abe and Sarah particularly, but others as well, just and seeing the same characters woven throughout the story, never knowing who's going to pop back up and where and why, but that they always did. It was very satisfying.
Nice. Kendra?
Yeah, for me, I would say the fact that I had no idea what was going to happen in the end. You know, you get so many scripts sometimes where you read it and within like the first few pages, you're like, okay, I've got the whole story figured out. But this was really like truly well written, where it was really a puzzle and we were in the mystery, and, you know, the characters didn't know what was going on and we, the readers, didn't know what was going on. So it was really exciting to read. And it was also exciting to play. I mean, seeing Leah's take on Sarah was really extraordinary. Leah, it really was. You really, you know, when I read it on the page, I didn't know how it was going to go, and your take on it was so much better than I had imagined in my head. And same thing with Lil Dio, where like what I had read in the script and seeing his take on it. I mean, it was really fun to see everybody bring the characters to life. So
I totally agree that I almost said that, but then I was like, I have to say something about, you know, that's technically the acting. Yeah, it's like getting just this cast getting to watch everybody and take, you know, something that you maybe imagined so differently. And Lou is such a great example. Every time he came on, it was just amazing. The line delivery. So yeah, each and every interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, barring internet difficulties, I was drawn to all of you, right? To the other characters too. It was just, you know, one of those things that, like, you know, table reads are usually not very, I mean, they're organic, right? They have to be. But some of them are kind of cold reads too, because the whole point of you guys not being able to read against each other before or anything like that. So I loved what you did, and I thought it was absolutely marvelous. Super fun to see and follow along the journey of the characters. You know, I was that person in the back that was like, don't do it, leave her alone, she's crazy, you know. And my partner's like, you know, they can't hear you, right? I don't care, because I'm always that one person in the movie theater that's like, don't go into that, don't.
Love it.
No one listens to me. So I had another question for Burt, but it looks like he like went away.
Maybe back.
Okay. So Jacob, are you thinking about doing any of the other books in the series and turning those into a screenplay?
I think you know, actually we did do another. I think we did a kind of a rough draft of one. I think we're trying to, you know, a lot of the business is built around, you know, existing properties, so that if you sort of go in with the books, and then you say you have a completed pilot, they're so lazy, they look at the black jacket and the picture on the cover, but at least they can go to their bosses and say, this is an existing, you know, piece, and do we want to option it? They've got a pilot, I think we should read it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the whole sort of selling package of it. You know, you want to give them as much as you can, and ideally come in with an actor and come in with directors and all that kind of stuff. So we you know, it's you know, we're still trying. So it's just you know, we have to wait for everything has gone. You know, it's not really a show for streaming. It's not really a. Those are such a you know, very specific and small bore and tend to be lighter. This is a much more of a network series, and right now there's a you know, glut at the networks of legal, you know, crime thrillers and cop shows. So you just have to wait for them to want an old saggy shrink as a main guy, and that'll happen. We gotta get. We need something for Ed, not Ed Asner, but we need something for there'll be a call out for a wonderful character piece, and maybe somebody will bring this up then.
True. So Burt, I had one more question for you from the audience. Burt, I read your In Velvet and wondered if you yourself spent time in Yellowstone. If you had to pick a place to set a book or film in Washington, where would it be? Please don't say Forks. No more Twilight, please.
What is the connection with In Velvet? I mean, I spent, many, many years in Montana and in Yellowstone with young kids, backpacking and, horse packing. And I'm a fly fisherman, so I spent hours and hours in Yellowstone. And when we did In Velvet, we really brought in grizzly experts and all sorts of, scientists. I mean, I like to do a lot of research, but the answer to your question is the other obvious place for me was Seattle, because that's where I lived for such a long time. And the first, in the trilogy, and Jake is right, we wrote a version of a teleplay of that. And I want to take a minute to give Jake some special credit, because he makes it sound easy, but it's very hard to turn a full book into a short teleplay. And I felt like he really taught me a lot about how to do that, and about to preserve so much of my writing is character driven, and it's very easy to lose the characters in a shorter version. And we did. I mean, I hope we did.
Yeah. He helped keep that essence, right?
Right. And so, did I answer your question? I mean, I would say Seattle.
Yeah. You did. Well, the one place in Washington, if you could pick a place to set another book besides Seattle. Everyone goes to Seattle. I love Seattle.
I'm working right now my 5th book in Seattle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a sequel to Danger in Plain Sight, which is a restaurant, in Seattle. And I just love writing in Seattle. I mean, I think Seattle's an interesting place. It's such a
I mean, as a transplant from New Jersey and from England, Seattle has definitely given me the opportunity to see both of my homes squished into one place. So, especially with the rain, lack of rain that we're having right now. But yeah, I get it. Seattle is just really one of those beautiful places, and I will likely never leave. So I just want to thank you all again. That's all the questions that we have for now. I really do hope that I'll get to see all of you at the film summit on the 11th in person. And please don't forget to check out Seattle Film Summit schedule at the seattlefilmsummit.com. We've already posted the schedule, and we were ready for that. So like giving Ben a hard time.
Can I jump in? I just want to thank all the actors and actresses, because I just feel like they really, they work really hard, and this doesn't happen without them. So thank you all very much.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to thank all of you also, because I don't think I've ever met any of you, because Seattle's such a small place. So I definitely really, again, hope to see you all on the 11th. And we'll see everyone else on the 11th of September. Don't forget the Seattle Film Summit runs from September 3rd to the 11th, but from the 3rd to the 10th, it'll all be virtual. So we'll have tons of content on there for you all to watch. Make sure that you come in person though on the 11th, and we'll see you all there.
Great.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you, Burt. Thank you, Jake,
Yeah.
Kendra, Leah. Good to see you again.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Pleasure to be here.
everyone.
Bye.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.